Very weird.
T3 Media.
There we go. Prepare yourself, guys. Welcome to another episode of Talking Through the Medias, your home for entertainment news and reviews by fans for fans. I'm your host, Chris Fagan, and joining me, as always, can't get rid of her, is that's the wrong camera. It's my wife, Joy Fagan, and I got ahead of myself. And also joining us for the first time, Robert Reed, live from our meeting at Comicpalooza, Dallas Expo. Introduce yourself to the audience if you don't mind.
My name's Robert Reed. I'm a hobbyist in cosplay and fabrication of props, and I very much enjoy being part of the podcast.
Awesome, outstanding. Yeah, guys, we first bumped into Robert when you guys might remember, we did a little episode of Talking to the Medias at Comicpalooza where we talked about the fashion design of a little film, little cult classic called The Fifth Element. And as we were talking, lo and behold, Zorg himself. His business card was right here. He goes, I will be watching with great interest. it was totally intimidating. You were sitting there as Zorg. I think I have it up here. I have your Comicpalooza and your Dallas Expo. There we go. It's on the screen right there.
Excellent.
As you as Zorg and as Doc Ock.
Yeah, Zorg definitely got a lot of attention.
Oh man, oh man. Tell us, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about your experiences as a cosplayer, or at least talk about those days if you don't mind.
Zorg definitely appealed to the older generation. A lot of the classics that like The Fifth Element, that that really draw a lot of attention and have a really good fan base. Mm-hmm. So definitely he's well received. Anytime I wear him out to a Comic-Con. And it's it's a somewhat casual cosplay to wear. It's not, I don't have 6 foot arms.
Knocking down children in the aisle.
I don't have an extra 50 pounds of weight to tote around. So it's a very fun cosplay to do. I wish I could say his lines nearly as well.
Well, what was one of those fun lines? But if it is destroyed, oh, look at all these fun things right here. It was something like that.
So many
of the great lines. I mean, his lines were just as fun and funny as anybody else. As just Chris Tucker and everything. If Chris Tucker is my most memorable or most quoted, Zorg is my next go-to. But I love Zorg. And I love him, the actor.
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman, thank you. My wife knows that I'm very bad with names, but in almost everything that he does. What was that one movie where he was screaming, "Everyone"?
The Professional.
The Professional, yeah. That's a go-to line that my friend Sean always quotes every time we're playing. You got to get everyone. Everyone.
He's one of those few rare talents that are like a chameleon that can
Yes.
slip into any role and wear it like a skin. So, he's one of the epic greats of my favorite actors.
And so are you. I mean, I'm telling you, look, I couldn't even tell. I was like, when you came up to us as Dr. I was like, hey, that's Dr. Ock. That's a cool cosplay there. And then I don't know who it was, they walked up to me and said, he wants to give you this. And I was like, wait a minute, is that Robert? And he gave me this Zorg greeting card. I don't know if you wanted me to hold this for you or
It's a gift for you.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. But, forgot to put it on camera here, this Zorg.
How many different costumes or characters do you cosplay?
I am probably up to maybe 15.
Because I know we saw Doc Brown as well.
I've done quite a few characters. I've done War Machine.
Okay.
I have done Batu from Ghost in the Shell.
Okay. Love that. I love that, the cartoon and the live action.
I've done some Terminator stuff.
But is Arnold or?
Yeah. T-1000. Had
I'll
some
be
prosthetics
back.
on the face and the minigun scene. Where he's wearing the leather jacket.
Yeah.
He's got carrying the minigun around. A lot of Fallout stuff.
Yeah.
So many. I've done just a bunch of variety.
And you make all your props too?
Yeah, usually.
I'm saying because those are pretty awesome.
I mean,
Yeah, very intricate. Yeah.
Professional. Great. I saw. Go to. I'll put it back up on the screen here. Go to at RXR Props on Instagram. I think you also post on your Facebook as well.
As well.
And you can see a lot of that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's amazing work that you do, and the photos are great as well.
Well, thank you.
But yeah, we had a blast at Dallas Expo. We were just talking before the show. We said that that was your first time going to Dallas Expo. That was ours as well. How'd you feel about it?
I really enjoyed it. Their lineup of talent for celebrities and actors and stuff is next level.
Yeah.
They had some really amazing names there that I was very excited to see.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen a lineup that well, without of traveling, several states away.
You got a couple autographs too as well, right? And you haven't put everything up on your socials yet, right?
No, I haven't. No, okay. I haven't posted any of my stuff from the expo yet.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a little behind.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're still recovering from all that walking.
Yes.
It was an exercise. You're gonna get your cardio in. You're gonna get your steps. How many steps did?
It was like 15,000. It was a lot.
Yeah.
And then I can't imagine with 50 pounds of stuff on your back to add to that.
Of Sam Raimi's official Doc Ock arms on your back, man. I swear I saw the. It felt like, are those things moving by themselves? I thought.
Well, he had the little Spider-Man mask.
Yeah.
Hanging.
That tripped me out because I was remembering what comic book cover that was from. I think I remember seeing that. That was with the mask and the money bag and everything. That was great. I'll put it back up again. But yeah, your cosplays are next level, man. Next level. It was outstanding.
I enjoy it. I've always enjoyed making the props, and I've always been a fabricator, so it landed naturally. It's like, I've always wanted that. I like that prop from that movie. I want that. I can't afford to buy it, or it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But I can make it.
You kind of reminded me of this movie I saw on Bill Gates and the story about Windows and Apple, and they were going to when Apple was about to debut the Windows technology, and Bill Gates, the character playing Bill Gates, was like, I want it. I want that. The way you said it, I want it. He's like, well, you can't have it. It's Apple. So you don't get it. I want it. And then he stole it. and he took it. He made it.
Necessity is the leader of invention, right?
Yeah.
So,
necessity is the father or the mother of invention or something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. So. If you don't want it, or if you want it and you can afford it, you can make it.
Yeah. I might have to see if I can convince you to help me out with Ruby's microphone. Trying to get. I need to.
I do the sewing. Printer. I help make our costumes, but I don't know how to do prop stuff.
I need to invest in a 3D printer or something like that. But if Dallas Expo guys, like I said, we talked about it yesterday with Kevin, the director. Where I'm also behind in getting all of the footage up from the weekend up. I will be working on that this weekend. Probably starting tomorrow. And our interview as well. Me and Robert interviewed him during that show, during that event as well. So I'm gonna get that up. Trust me. I've been promising all the people that I've been in contact with. Thank you guys for everybody in the Dallas Fan Expo fans Facebook page for tagging us in the pictures that you saw of us in the Ruby Rod and the stewardess costume. And I promise I will get all the pictures up as well. But we have some topics that we're going to go over as usual, guys. We are going to run them down right now. Babe, if you don't mind, what is the first topic of the week, of the day, actually?
From The Hollywood Reporter, Jan Demange has stepped down as the director of the upcoming Marvel movie Blade, a reboot of the popular vampire hunter character played by Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, this news just dropped. I believe it was, we said it was from Variety,
Hollywood Reporter.
And it's been a process, man. I don't know what's been going on with this movie, but it reminds me of what's been going on with some of the projects on the Lucasfilm side of Disney, where a lot of things get announced and then directors just drop like flies. And that was a thing that rarely really happened with Marvel Studios. Maybe once or twice a director has backed out. I think Ant-Man was one of the first times it happened, but then they picked it back up and got it going. But Blade has been like it feels like it's been cursed. I don't know what's going on. Mahershala Ali is, I believe, in his 50s, and
I know you said you're concerned that he's gonna end up dropping because they keep pushing things back.
I'm getting nervous. I feel like it could happen. I'm hoping that these delays, they were supposed to start shooting this November. I don't think that's happening. Maybe the beginning of 2025, but I don't know. I mean, any thoughts? Have you been keeping up, Rob, with any of this news with the Blade?
Not a whole lot. I do know that trying to keep up with something like that as far as scheduling has to be a nightmare with so many moving parts to try and bring something to fruition. So, yeah, when you start seeing problems like this arise, they need, all things have to line up for them to get it done.
Right.
And obstacles in the way will definitely get frightening as far as, pushing it to completion.
I think we're if I remember correctly, maybe this is the third director.
I know
writers have been dropping like flies.
Now people are really wondering if that's has anything to do with Jordan Peele.
We were just
meeting.
before we started recording, and we were just talking about that. It was like we talked about that last week on this show, that Jordan Peele, the director of Get Out and Nope, has been in meetings with Marvel. And I put up a poll: which movies would you like to see Jordan Peele? Which Marvel movie would you like Jordan Peele to direct? I had X-Men as an option. I had Doctor Strange, Blade, and then out of nowhere, the correct answer, I feel, came up from the community, and I thank you guys for always correcting me. The correct answer was Ghost Rider, because I think that would be a better fit. But with the Hollywood Reporter reporting that the last director of Blade, this news is just dropping this week, but it turns out, based on that story, he was actually stepped down weeks ago, and then they had their meeting with Jordan Peele. So to me, it makes sense that it's actually going to probably be Blade. I'm now leaning towards that. That's the correct. That's the feeling that's the reason why Marvel had that meeting with Jordan Peele. What do you think about that? Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
It does seem like a good fit, and it does give me a little hope for an interesting direction, and hopefully it'll gain some momentum and start taking off.
Yeah, and I tried to. I tried to pick movies that I felt had a horror element. That's why I said Doctor Strange, maybe Ghost Rider, and obviously and Blade, because that's the better fit for Jordan Peele. Because I'm sure he can do more than just horror, but horror seems to be his go-to genre. So Blade, I think it, like you said, I think it would be a great fit. I would not be upset with this at all. I've seen, especially even on our channel, I've seen people in the comment section saying that Jordan Peele should probably stay away from Marvel completely. But Kevin Feige, I feel like he has a good head on his shoulders on picking the right director for the right project. I'm pretty sure the last director, I'm pretty sure every person who's stepped in were the right person at the time. I'm assuming that maybe with all these changes with these writers and these directions that these new writers have put it in, that this last director that stepped down, he was probably the right person at the time with the original script, but then as the script evolved, just like with Ant-Man, it's like, yeah, your vision to where you want to take it doesn't match with where the script is now, so it's probably best that we go our separate ways, and we'll probably work together again in the future. That's probably likely what happened here. I don't think, I'm not hearing anything about scandals or any bad feelings, creative differences, which means a fight happened or something like that. I'm not hearing any of that, and I doubt that's the case, but I would love it. I think Jordan Peele would be a good fit, and guys, let us know what you guys think. Do you think Jordan Peele would be a good fit or not so great fit for an MCU, for Blade, or for any Marvel project? Let us know in the comment section, and as I was saying, let's keep talking. All right, moving on. What is the next topic of the day?
From Variety, The Boys will be coming to an end after its 5th season. The show, which follows a group of vigilantes who take on corrupt superheroes, had its 4th season start today with 3 new episodes. Right now, Season 4 is sitting at about 85% from Rotten Tomatoes with 52 reviews.
I thought that we were going to just be talking about the news that Season 5 was going to be the final season. And then, damn it, Season 4 just debuted last night. I'm like, where was my brain? I'm always on there day one, staying up till like 5 o'clock in the morning and keeping Joy up, like, babe, we got to go to bed. Like, no, we're watching this.
Yeah.
Did you?
And that's what I'm thinking. When can I binge this?
Yeah, I was just about to ask you. So I was like, did you catch it when it dropped on Amazon last night?
I thought it was in a week or so. I didn't realize it was today.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was today either. You said you didn't either?
No, I sure
So
didn't.
we, all three of us, we're all in the same boat. We haven't watched it yet, but the reviews are still high. Like they said, so far it's 85%. Season 1, 2, and 3 were in the 90s as well. So I mean, 85 is still
Like,
good.
are we cranking up the gore factor, or
What?
the just out of pocket? It's like every season they just have to add something in that you go, what?
Yes.
What is this?
Already
The shock and
Yes.
awe.
Yeah.
The shock and awe.
The awe and the shock.
Yes.
What is wrong with these people?
It is very epic. It's very visceral.
Yes.
And I enjoy it very much. The talent on there,
Top notch. Who's your favorite character?
I mean, they've got some epic talent. You got Anthony Starr.
Homelander.
Yeah, Homelander. I loved him in Banshee.
Okay.
It was the first show I saw. I
him?
watched religiously with him in it. And as an actor-wise, he just killed it.
Yeah.
And he plays a very miserable, frightening, psychotic person on The Boys, and he does it extremely well.
Like a little too well. A little too well. Like, this dude is a great actor.
And it's he's so chaotic that you can't hardly take your eyes away. You never know where he's going to go next.
Yeah.
So it's very captivating to watch. And then you have Carl Urban, another one of those chameleon actors.
AKA my Judge Dredd.
That's another guy like the chameleon. He can slip into any role. And the amount of roles that guy's been in through his career is insane.
The way he's effectively made the C word or something that's just casual now. Yeah, that's just the way he delivers. I know in Australia it's a common thing, but him the way he delivers, I'm like, yeah, that's I don't even hear it anymore.
I'm definitely anxious to see what Jeffrey Dean Morgan brings. Negan.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I forgot
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
I forgot that he
because he's going to be in this season, and we've seen him do all kinds of crazy stuff in everything he's been in.
I doubt if he'll be have a Negan-ish type of character. Could you imagine Negan and Homelander having a conversation? I don't think Negan would survive that. Homelander's ego.
But just from the little snippets of trailers, he doesn't appear to be a good guy, whatever he is, whatever his character is.
Is he a politician? Maybe.
Who knows? But
we're definitely gonna find
their
out
conversation
tonight.
didn't seem to be one of of a stand-up dude.
Yeah.
That's more epic talent to add.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, big time. I heard that because the show started off as just like the comic book. It's a parody of the comic books that we've come up with, like the Justice League kind of thing. But I've heard now in this season that it's less of a parody now. It's more it's its own thing. It's evolved into something very special, and they kind of turned off the parody, and now we're really invested in these characters so much where I'm not seeing an evil version of Superman anymore. No, it's just Homelander. It's just.
Well, I'm also curious to see, because I know when we watch Gen V, I read that we will see where things are going when we see this season of The Boys.
Good.
So I'm anxious to see how is that fitting in.
Yeah.
I always love a good tie-in when they really interweave the story and interweave the characters' lives. It fills in the backstories and fleshes out that world in a way that with a shorter episodes you might not be able to do.
Exactly.
And by tying it into another series, it grounds it, gives a little bit better grounding.
I remember hearing that there was another spinoff that there was in the works, like The Boys, but it's set in Mexico. Like I guess the Mexican government I guess their division of Vought or something like that. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think that project is still in development. So even if they hope, I like Gen V. I hope they continue with it. But there's also another spinoff coming up, if you don't mind, if you're looking that up. But just like you were saying, yeah, sometimes I get nervous about these spinoffs. Like if it takes the universe in a direction that they like to compare it to the original. Not as good as the original. I'm not looking for it to be as good as this or good as that. I'm just looking for good stories, looking for good character development. And I thought Gen V did that. At least for me. I said it.
For me.
That's for me. If anybody says for me, that's a soundbite on that. Then a Kardashian voice will come in.
One thing that I will say I see Disney doing a lot of, so they're doing spin-offs or takes from one universe, like some of the Star Wars stuff. They're doing the animated and all that. And some of it's geared towards a younger generation. Some of it's geared towards being more whimsical. So, and then there's some that's very adult.
Right.
So it only makes sense from a business standpoint to be that diversified.
Yeah.
Granted, me being an older guy, the whimsical stuff maybe not up my alley.
Right.
But you gotta produce stuff that's not just for one particular person, right?
Right.
You gotta make stuff for all these different generations and all these different niches to dive into.
Yeah.
And I think Disney's been pretty successful with that.
Yeah. A lot of people who gatekeep might not like it, but it's the only way. You're right. It's the only way to evolve and to survive. You got to get the youth involved somehow. Because when, like for Star Wars, for example, when Star Wars first came out, we were kids. Our parents might not have got it and understood, but for us it blew our minds. We loved it. But now we're old. We're the parents now, and the way to guarantee that cha-ching keeps coming in, you gotta bring the kids, and that's why you have a baby Yoda in a Mandalorian and whatnot to sell toys and stuff like that. Because the second that little guy got on the screen, once everybody's mind blew up, and Disney could just smell the dollars coming in. That's how you do it. You gotta keep the youth involved. Now maybe the boys won't be able to do that because it's still a rated R type of show. But I get your meaning to diversifying the universe and putting other variations of the shows and spinoffs. It only helps to uplift it.
The interview they did, it doesn't have a name yet. It just The Boys Mexico. And then it says he has a few more, but he's not ready to divulge.
We're talking about the creators of the shows, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
Kripke.
cool.
He said that he has more than just that Mexico spinoff in mind. A couple more, but said he wasn't ready to discuss
Okay.
what that means.
We're gonna have the deep.
A whole
spinoff
universe.
of a whole story about the deep.
That dude kills me, though.
That's too funny. Now, you know, I could see them as a joke doing like a special with the deep, and what was his book called? Going Deep or Getting Deep with the Deep, something like that. It was that dude is hilarious. It all cracks me up. So I can't wait to see more of it, guys. What do you think about the news with the boys and everything? Let us know what you guys think, and like I always say, guys, let's keep talking. All right, as we always do, we cover some of the news, and then we get into the part of the reviews portion of the show, and we all did our homework, and we saw the new Netflix movie that I don't know what I think it came out. It's just a recent drop, right?
Yeah, a week or two.
It just came out.
Yeah.
Hitman on Netflix. Everybody has their show notes. Do I have my paper, babe? Did I get or was it only 2 sheets? I didn't get one. That's all good. Who wants to go first? Anybody want to share their thoughts on Hitman?
Oh, I'll dive in a little bit.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the movie. Straight from the launch, it really sold New Orleans to me.
Okay.
Like from the very first couple minutes of film and stuff.
Wait, am I getting?
I hear somebody somewhere.
Who wants to go first? Anybody want to share
That's
their
you.
thoughts
Really
on
sold.
Hitman?
Getting some dub.
I'm getting some feedback here.
I did enjoy the movie.
I don't know where it's coming from though.
Straight from the launch.
It's
really
not
sold
me.
Uh-oh.
New Orleans to me.
Okay.
From,
Let's
from
see
the
if
very
it's.
first couple
There we go.
minutes of
I found it.
film and stuff.
Found the culprit. There we go. Got it. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. Go
No
ahead. You said it sold New Orleans.
It did. It had that New Orleans feel just captured straight from launch. And then the other thing that I noticed pretty quickly is the movie had a very unique feel.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like quite drama. It didn't feel quite suspense. It didn't feel quite humor, but it had a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So it made for a very interesting and different tone of the film. And some of that, may have had to do with some of the cinematography and the filters that they put on some of the camera action.
Mm-hmm.
But you had some neat touches of like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Mm-hmm.
You had you had some neat touches of some humor notes, and then some Basic Instinct notes. There was some suspense in there where you're like, okay, who's the killer and who's not. I really enjoyed Glenn Powell's character. He
put him up on the screen here. There we go.
He was to be able to pull off an actor playing someone that's impersonating other people in multiple personalities. That's got to be a lot to wrap your head around.
Right.
And he really killed each role. And you could see there was tics and personality differences that he rolled into too. I was really impressed with there was some costume work there.
Yeah.
There was some makeup work there, some significant makeup work that was done to make him look, different in the characters that I think was a very, very cleanly done and very nice, a very nice touch. Some of the scenes may have felt a little rushed where I wanted a little more. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh yeah, give him a little bit more to that character. And you could also tell when he was, impersonating some of the killers or whatever. You saw some throwbacks to other films.
I say he got a kick out of American Psycho.
Yeah,
exactly. It was. There felt like a Patrick Bateman moment.
Yes,
definitely.
That was absolutely channeling some Christian Bale, for sure.
For sure.
And
I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, and No Country for Old Men. I forgot that.
I forgot his name, but I think I know what you mean. Yeah, that very quiet but very menacing expression on his that dry look on his face.
One of the characters he did had the bob cut type hair and
we
had that personality. So.
Laughed at the redhead.
Was it the character, the redhead character that was very?
I think it was one of the last ones he dressed up as with the red hair. We were like,
but I'm trying to say if the redhead character was the one that was like Old Country for No Country for. I'm gonna mess up the title.
Even like the shirt that he was wearing, it had that very, very significant feel. Where
yeah.
you could tell that's a nod to Country for Old
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. They did a lot of nods to a lot of these movies, and that's one of the things I did enjoy about it. I enjoyed it as well. In the beginning of it, I was thinking, okay, is this going to be another one of those quantity over quality type of Netflix movie? And I was prepared for it. And thinking back now, I feel like maybe if I was just to read the script, or maybe if it was any other actor, but I feel that Glenn Powell, he elevated this movie to a level that I was not ready for. I was expecting this.
When you saw the very first change from meek Gary to Ron Claudette, played by Retta, was like, okay, Gary.
Yeah.
All right then.
That was the moment.
And he starts going off on the tangent of dropping a finger every so many. They were like, where did that come from? What are you talking about?
It was Gary. It was Gary it was probably that Ron moment when just when his when the other actors the other officers felt it that Gary was surprising every. I was like, okay, I'm locked in. This movie is going to. I feel like it's going to be special. It's going to take me on a ride.
Surprising.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He delivered lines extremely well.
Yeah.
They didn't feel rushed. I like that very much. That his lines he felt comfortable in his lines.
Yeah. And
they did not feel rushed for pacing or timing.
I felt Gary, evolving. I felt him as the script was meant to. That was exactly what was meant to display on screen. He that foreshadowing that they did, I think, with his ex girlfriend, who was like his best friend, and she's going over the reasons why it didn't work out, and his qualities. Like, you need to get out there more. You need to express yourself more. And that was the thing. I was like, okay, he's going to work on that issue. Probably through these characters.
His students noticed it, because there is a comment like halfway through the movie. They're like, when did our teacher get hot? I missed what happened here.
He totally Clark Kent and Superman that whole thing.
You could see his personality, flip.
Yeah.
Where he's like, okay,
as his confidence build.
I'm now going to be Ron, and he was Ron from there. And that was one thing I really liked about the kind of the end scene was like when he was in front of the students there at the end, he had completely changed to Ron.
Yeah.
He was the Ron character at that point.
So, well, that was the question he asked his best friend. Can people really change or whatever? And she was like, well.
And I could tell that was like going to be foreshadowing of him evolving his personality. And Gary did a great job of putting that on screen. The young lady who played, the co-star, was it Andrea, is it Arjonas, playing Maddie? Totally also had me fooled. I'm thinking, okay, like on that part of the movie. I'm sorry, spoiler. We don't want to. I guess I don't want to do spoilers too much, but I guess we should have said that in the beginning. But I was wondering, like, okay, this person she's so sweet, but then I'm like, wait a minute, is there gonna be like a misdirect moment? Is there some switch that's gonna go off? Is it really her? Is she really this sweet person, or is she really this bad a person, or is she becoming bad because she's feeding off of this Ron character or something? Like, what's happening? Is it like a chicken or the egg kind of a thing with her character? How did you feel about that?
Very much so. I was very conflicted. It really had me guessing. What's her motivation?
Yeah.
Is she a killer? Is she not?
Is she being coerced, or is she?
Yeah, it strung me along for a pretty good while trying to figure out. I thought she may have been coerced by the redheaded guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know. I was like, where are they going to go with this?
Yeah.
And it's nice for me. I like to like a movie that keeps me guessing.
For me,
But the back and forth with the way is it Gary and Maddie, the way they talk with each other and the way their characters were able to what's the word, I guess, improv with and
Their chemistry was
chemistry was very good. I love that. What do you guys think about Jasper, played by let me pull up this
Austin
name. Austin
Emilio.
Emilio. That character, I was wondering if Ron was really like if he was feeding off of Jasper or anything. Like no, none of his characters were any of
Jasper's
the,
just a douche.
He's just a douchebag and whatnot, but that moment where even him is, even though he was displayed as our douchebag antagonist for the most part, I felt like even him, I felt a conflict. Like, is he going to? He's been heavily displayed as this jerk that we're supposed to not like. But are we going to then? Is he maybe he'll be the hero in the end, or he'll find some kind of redemption in the end. I love the fact that it even with his character, it kept me guessing. Is there going to be a redeeming moment with him? But how did you feel? How do we all feel about his character?
I thought he felt uncomfortably accurate
for cops in Louisiana, or just corruption.
Just the feel of his character.
Yeah.
Felt like this guy exists.
Yeah.
It's like, this guy is out there, and this is an exact,
opportunist
mirror image of, this is a guy out there.
Yeah.
In the world.
Unfortunately, yeah, you're right. This guy is out there,
Yeah.
100%. He had me laughing.
And the personality was a little over the top, but
you can believe him.
Oh, yeah.
You believed him.
I've seen that guy.
I've seen that guy. I've seen this guy on the news. He has been sworn in.
I've seen this out in the wild.
And unfortunately, like in a moment in the movie, unfortunately, it was a situation where he's one of those guys where he does not have any business being anywhere near a badge and a gun, but for some reason, they gotta. With the whole,
if he's turning anybody in, it's not to be a good guy.
Yeah.
There's an ulterior motive.
Yeah.
I'm not here to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I'm here to do whatever's going to work out best for me.
Yeah.
for me,
Of course. His character. One of the best parts of that movie, like when Gary came up with the. With his Ron character, his Hitman character, and this is a movie where it's about people who hire professional killers, and I liked it at the beginning of the movie where they say these people we fantasize that because of all these movies that we see of hitmen and hired contract killers, people really think that these guys are out there, and maybe they are, but for the most part they are not. 9 times out of 10, you're talking to a cop, and it's amazing how many times we've seen people get arrested I've seen popped up on YouTube or on social media where a wife or has hired a killer to kill a husband, or vice versa, the husband tried to pay somebody to take out a wife, maybe it was a divorce or whatever the situation. And when I realized that that's what this concept of this movie was about, I was like, that is interesting. I've never thought about making a Hitman movie about fake hitmen.
Those mugshots were funny.
Those mugshots. Come on. How funny were each and every one of those mugshots as every person got busted?
And the fact that they were trying to make those very stereotypical, relatable characters.
Yeah.
And it's like very interesting to that seems like I think that was a neighbor at one point in time. And it was interesting that they made it so realistic of the vast majority of people that are convicted of that, like you mentioned, are they're in a relationship.
Yeah.
They're not, I'm not trying to kill my boss or, any of that jazz. It's
in the circumstances that they were
in a relationship, trying to hire someone to kill another person. It's just,
It wasn't all about, for the most part, it wasn't all about greed or anything like that. Some of these people that they convicted in this comedy were people who who felt like they were wrong. They were just like the Joker says here on the wall. They were just what's that line between sanity and but that line for insanity is all you need is like gravity. All you need is one push.
Yeah,
they were pushed.
One bad day.
One bad day.
Yeah.
And that's who for the most part. But even though these characters were, some of them were funny and so like those mugshots when they felt like they were hiring a hitman, and then and the way Gary's character was able to get their guard down and make he tried to tap into the type of a quote unquote hitman that would make this person just give it up and just and incriminate themselves, and that look of trust and confidence were like, oh wow, this guy, I'm gonna give this $2,000 to this guy. I'm really good. This is really gonna happen. 5 minutes later, that mugshot from that happiness of this is going to happen to the that mugshot. Those each and every one of them was hilarious. Yeah. I thought if I was to rate this movie, I would give it. I'm gonna say 8 out of 10. That's my rating. What about you? Where were you rating it? Or 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 10, however you want to do it.
I'm gonna go to probably a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Where are you, babe? I know the comedies are big. I know you love a good comedy.
I'll give it about an 8.
About an 8. Yeah, there we go. We're about between 7 and 8. Overall, I recommend it. I recommend it. Go watch this movie. It was one of the best.
I see great things
Netflix.
From Glenn Powell in the future.
He is the guy. He is the guy. Twisters. I think Twisters.
Yeah,
the next
I'm
one,
ready
right?
to see that.
I do think with him knocking this one out of the park, you're going to start seeing definitely more work coming his way.
Oh yeah, and it's funny that another Netflix movie, I was saying him and Sydney Sweeney is also the it girl for Hollywood, and now he's becoming the it man, and they just did a movie together. These two rising stars, man. I can't wait to see more from both of them. I think they're doing an amazing job, and that range from doing all those characters, it reminded me of that movie, M. Night Shyamalan movie, Split, being able to do all of those characters convincingly. He did a bang-up job. And its movie's hilarious.
That's what impresses me most about actors, is just to be able to recreate that personality or that persona in an intelligible way. And then at the end of the day, pack it up and return to yourself.
Yeah.
Is just an amazing talent.
Very amazing talent, or very scary. I think.
Yeah.
One or the other. Right?
Or borderline scary.
Yeah. Either you're a great actor or woo. I don't want to get on your bad side.
Or a mediocre social path
or something like that, right? Low key social path. But guys, yeah, we recommend it. Go check out Hitman. It's on Netflix streaming now. If you have Netflix, it is definitely one of their wins on that streaming platform. Okay, guys. Real fast, I know I've gone overtime. Every time I try to aim for that tight 30.
You always do.
I always go over. I'm sorry. I like talking about these things. Well, we haven't done. I forgot to do this last month, and at the end of every month, I like to talk about the movies that are turning 10, 20, 30 years old. We didn't do it for May, so I'm going to hurry up and get that out of the way, though. So I wanted to talk about the movies real fast that are turning 10, 20, and 30 years old, and if you guys are watching in the chat, if you see something that, if you have a funny story about some of these movies that are turning 10, 20, 30 years old, let us know in the chat. So starting off with the movies that are turning 10, starting off with The Amazing Spider-Man 2, May of 2014 is when Andrew Garfield dropped his second attempt at The Amazing Spider-Man. I love The Amazing Spider-Man 1, but I have to. I did not know where Webb was going with. I think it's Mark Webb that directed this one. I did not know where. Was it studio interference? I don't know. I felt like there were so many different tones of this movie. Were they trying to aim it towards the kids? Were they trying to be just as dark, if not darker than the first movie? It was just back and forth all over the place. Giamatti as the Rhino with that over-the-top acting. I'm a killer. I'm like, I cannot take some of these scenes seriously. And then the other scenes is like, ew, wow, I can't believe she went out, with that land. I was like, the tones were all over the place. So I don't know. That's what I took from this movie. What do you remember about about Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Well, I'm a little partial to the Spider-Man storylines. I definitely enjoyed it. I thought some of the character development seemed a little forced. The insertion of Rhino, seemed a little whimsical, a little comedy. But I do feel that I very much liked the Goblin's costume and suit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed some of the script work and the prop work and the set design that went into the film.
And I think that was the movie that they were heading for a Sinister Six. They were trying to get that started.
I believe they teased it after the after credits scene.
Yeah.
The prop work that went into the Goblin suit, I believe that was a Legacy Effects work.
Okay.
And yeah, it was, or was that Weta? No, that was Weta.
Okay.
Weta Studios did their that prop work, that costume, and that was next level costume work.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed the detail that they put into it, especially after seeing we'd already seen
Goblin and Tobey
Goblin
Maguire.
before, and to be able to up that to a little bit more of a modern science fiction level, I enjoyed that part.
That was one of the tones that I liked. That the Goblin being a virus in that family that was passed down from father to son, and trying to find a cure. That was very unique as well. Do you remember Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Well, yeah, because I had not watched any of the Spider-Man movies except for Marvel Tom Holland movies.
Right.
And when the No Way Home was about to come out, there had been speculations of we knew that there was
word that
probably going to be some sort of throwbacks
and then
and
we
things.
went back
and
we
you
watched.
said, I think you should watch them because if they do some sort of throwbacks, you're not going to understand what's going on because you didn't watch any of the other movies.
Yeah.
So I was like, fine. So
I
watched.
I didn't get you to watch all the Spider-Man
Yeah,
movies.
we watched them all.
I got you. Okay.
So then, and I saw them right before the movies, so it was fresh to me.
Right. Okay. We let. Yeah.
So I was
from
all like,
Toby to
"Oh,
Andrew. Yeah. So when Zendaya got dropped from that roof, didn't work out so well in this movie, but it ended better for Tom Holland. So yeah, I know. Okay, now I remember. Also, I'm sorry, we talked about that one a long time. Also, turning 10 Days of Future Past, X-Men Days of Future Past. If not one of the, I think I'll go back and forth on whether or not X2 or Days of Future Past was the better one. This is top tier X-Men movies. I love that we got the old school cast and the new school all in one movie. Professor X we got Magneto from the original and from the First Class. Both castings were amazing. I can't believe that Fox was able to get perfect casting on both sides of that for the younger and the older actors on it. Sir Patrick Stewart and I'm bad with the names. The Sirs.
Ian? No.
Ian, yeah, I wanted to say Ian as well, McKellen or something like that. But I know, Joy. I know you didn't see any.
I did not
of the X-Men ones. But what about you? How did you feel about 10 years ago? This movie turning 10.
That movie had a lot. That movie covered so much. It felt like two movies rolled into one. There was a lot of space to cover. Normally, when you do that, you rush.
Yeah.
There's lines are rushed, scenes are rushed, and it
didn't feel rushed to me.
It did not. It did not feel rushed on that one. So I definitely was happy with the way they sold that, and just the amount of story they covered in that amount of time, and did it accurately. They chose really good scenes to shoot, really good visual pop and visual cues. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and look at the cast. It's like.
Even though that was about the time when Jen Law was kind of getting tired of being Mystique, but she still crushed it. I feel like everybody did a great job from the original cast to the new. They did a fantastic job. Also turning 10, Maleficent. who we saw at
We saw
Dallas
several
Expo.
Maleficents at Dallas Expo.
Yeah, Dallas Expo. So yeah, that was Angelina Jolie's Maleficent movie from Disney, turning 10 years old today. I don't know why I thought it was older than that, but yeah, turning 10, Maleficent. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I like both the Maleficent movies. I know doesn't get I know a lot of people didn't like it because it tried to make the Maleficent character, who is a very well known to being one of Disney's most badass original villains, but trying to make a hero out of it. Oh, you're trying to make me feel sorry for Maleficent. I'm like, I mean, come on. I thought it was a decent story. What about you?
I did enjoy it. For me, it was, the
For
hopes
me.
of like...
For me.
It was the hopes of, that they can bring a lot of these original Disney stories to the big screen in an adult way, in a way that I would enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that type of content for me, I was super excited
to
see them developing characters like that for adults, an adult story.
Yeah. And her motherly instinct for the young lady, I can't remember. Was that a Fanning? Was that one of the Fanning children that played the young princess? I can't remember, but I think so. She I thought the story with Maleficent, I thought it was very well done. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it, and I still felt Maleficent's dark side, and I think they portrayed it pretty well.
Elle Fanning.
Elle Fanning, I knew that was a Fanning.
Yeah, she had the face, right?
Yeah, I could tell. There was some Fanning features there. Did you see Maleficent? No, that wasn't one of the ones you saw. Okay. That was all the movies turning 20 years old, 2004. Come on, babe. I know you saw Harold and Kumar go to White Castle.
I didn't. I missed out on a lot of movies for a lot of years. I was working and going to school too hard and didn't see anything.
You know what? I knew that this movie was going to be special was when. Okay, so Harold and Kumar were gonna have to have their adventure right at the beginning of the movie. Like, we gotta go do I guess they were going to the store doing a beer run. I forgot what they were gonna go get, maybe weed or something, right? And then they go, hey, we forgot our cell phones, and they were just down the hall from their apartment. And they looked back. They were so stoned. They looked back, and the door. They're like, oh no, we've already walked too far. Can't go back. I was like, okay, this movie's gonna be funny. I knew this movie was gonna be hilarious, and it did not disappoint. Neil Patrick Harris playing a over-exaggerated evil version of himself. It was, and this was when he was still struggling, trying to shed off the Doogie Howser history of it, and that character that he played, I think it saved his career, because that led into How I Met Your Mother. That led into a lot of great things for him, in my opinion. Man, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misremembering. But what do you think? What you feel about Harold and Kumar?
I thought it was hilarious. That is definitely right up my alley as far as my humor movies.
Yeah.
I love that style of humor. My wife hates it.
What was it that Neil Patrick Harris said? Oh yeah, let's get some burgers, fur burgers. I was like, oh, he was a womanizer. I'm like, it was great.
My wife is a very different style of humor in movies, and this is definitely my go-to.
Yeah.
And the slapstick funny stuff, and my wife just rolls her eyes and just like, all right, I'm gonna go watch something else.
Come on, Freak Show. Come on, you loved it. Freak Show. They met from Law and Order SVU. He played Freak Show. Remember the guy that gave them a ride. And they went to his junk. I remember that ride was being so awkward. They were in a pickup truck together because their car got broke down, and he looks like the kind of guy. It always reminded me of Adventures in Babysitting, where they were stuck on the side of the road, and the scary dude comes and helps them out. Turns out to be a nice guy. And as they were driving, he's like, so what are your guys' names? And he had so much earwax in his ear, he couldn't hear him. He's like, my name is Harold. He's like, hey, Gerald. And I'm Kumar. Hey, Cooney. And there's just little subtle little jokes like that. I don't know why that had me rolling. He's like, oh, and they're talking about the earwax and all the pus in his ears. Like, dude, the guy's sitting right here next to us. He's hearing everything you're saying. Hey, he can't hear me with all that wax in his ear, and he's driving. I heard everything you said. It was just that scary moment. I was like, oh my God, it's such a good movie.
Yeah. That subtle type of humor is really got, it's an art form.
Yeah.
To be able to drop those little lines and that subtle humor that's so faint.
It hits so hard.
It does it hard.
Freak Show was perfect, man. Because the guy plays a badass detective on a Law and Order SVU. I didn't for years. I did not know that was him.
Is it DeFornio or whatever?
No, he was in. That other vampire show that he was on that show for a while. True Blood. He was on True Blood for a little while, but he's on Law and Order. Christopher Maloney played a character called Freak. Come on, everybody, get right with the Lord, because the devil is everywhere. It was hilarious. I'm like, that cannot be him. All right, move on. 2004 was known for its disaster movies. Turning 20 years old the day after tomorrow. I think I saw this once. This was the time when I worked overseas. A lot of these movies I was watching with the military, so it was such a blur. We used to get all of our bootleg movies and watch them as best we could. But I remember this being one of the better disaster movies where the world like froze over. Was it global warming that caused it or something like that? I don't know. But the world, another ice age was hitting.
Yeah, and I don't entirely remember. All I know is there was a lot of flash freezing going on.
The flash freezing, yeah.
And it was very suspenseful, and I really liked this movie as well.
Jake Gyllenhaal? Wasn't Jake Gyllenhaal in that?
Yeah. And Dennis Quaid?
Yeah, was he his father? He played his dad, yeah.
And
great cast.
Definitely, made my fear of really, really cold places.
Yeah. I knew it was serious.
It definitely made me not like the freezing cold.
I knew it was a serious situation when they were saying Americans are trying to flee to Mexico to get closer to the equator. Yes. There's this flash free, and Mexico was like, I thought it was a funny little scene. I felt like Mexico was gonna be like, oh, now how the tables have turned. They're gonna close the border. We put that wall up. Sorry, America. Sorry. Yeah. Better luck next time. You're talking all that noise now. Now who's got the upper hand? Yeah. Did you see that one? No time. So yeah, it was another one.
I do remember there were a lot of disaster movies around that time.
It was the 90s and the early 2000s.
And I've seen some, but not this one.
So many disaster movies. Also turning 10 years old. This is Troy. Troy was. I thought it was a very unique movie. Set in the Gladiator days. It was based on
This is Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt's playing Achilles, I believe, a Greek mythology character. And I was like, how are they gonna pull this one off? I thought they did a great job. I think it was right around the same time when Russell Crowe's Gladiator came out as well. Troy, I thought Brad Pitt did an amazing job. I enjoyed. I think I saw it a couple of times. I think I saw it in theaters. I can't remember if I saw it in theaters or not. But I thought Brad did an excellent job. What do you remember about Troy?
I enjoyed it. The fight scenes and the fight choreography, I very much enjoyed. Some of the backdrops and stuff were really neat, really expansive. I liked that it covered. They had nods to a lot of Greek mythology in there. Yeah.
The gift horse? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. The guys who was hiding in
the Trojan horse.
The Trojan horse. Yeah. I remember the stakes being so high in that movie that they talked about how since medical situations were very different back in those times. So if you got a little cut, you could get infected and you could die back then. So. They made a point to talk about that. I think at the beginning of the movie, the fights that they were having, a blade gets swiped at Brad Pitt and barely nicks him on the chest, and he checked himself in the middle of the fight. He checked. He said, "Oh, was I cut?" It was that dire. I was like, "Oh man, any little cut and this fight is over." It was.
I mean, Eric Bana, his character was really good. Mm. Paris was, what's the guy that played Legolas in Lord of the Rings? What's his name?
I'm bad with names, but Was also in that movie.
Yeah,
In Troy?
he played Paris, which was the mythological lover of Helen of Troy.
Troy.
Mm-hmm. And it's like it was a real bummer because they made
Orlando Bloom.
Orlando Bloom. Yes, I remember now. Yeah.
They made him out to be somewhat of a not a good fighter and a little coward and all that, but he's a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah.
But really, really interesting characters. And the guy that played the king that was directing Brad Pitt's character, I forgot what his name is.
I don't know.
What king he's supposed to be? Brian Cox played a
Your Succession dude. Oh man.
Okay.
played a horribly unlikable character, but his lines were just very magnetic. Super great movie.
That was an awesome movie. Also turning 10, I don't have the graphic up, but turning 20 years old is The Notebook with Ryan Gosling. And
I have seen this many times, but I didn't see it when it came out. I saw it. It was probably quite a few years later.
a lot of women watching it. That was that movie, just like that romance novel. You curl up with a good book and and fall in love with Ryan. That was when I think that was when the world really was starting to fall in love with Ryan. This was 20 years before he stole our hearts again as Ken. But The Notebook, oh man, everybody was talking about that what was that scene in the rain where they were yelling at each other.
What do you want?
Yeah, everybody kept that's always memed and talked about. And turning 30, I think I have it here. Turning am I still on 20? Also turning 20 years old, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. That was my favorite. I don't know where it ranks with other Potterheads, but I wasn't really that into the Harry Potter movies, but I watched them all. But I remember when that one came out, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with this. I like these movies now.
I saw a couple. I can't remember if this was one of them I saw or not, because Junior was a big Harry Potter when he was a kid. Mm-hmm. He read all the books. Yeah. But I did not see all the movies, just some of them.
Naturally, I liked it. It had Gary Oldman in it.
Yeah, you go. I was wondering if that was one with Gary Oldman. Yeah, that was probably why I liked it so much. I was like, you got Gary Oldman.
Sold on that one.
He said, how many wizards are we going to get? Everyone. But yeah, I was the ones turning 20 and real quick turning 30 years old. Let's start off with Beverly Hills Cop 3. That took me by surprise. I was like, yeah, 1994.
I know.
I really didn't realize it was 94.
Yeah.
I would have thought like 2000 or something.
I thought it was like 2000 because I remember not liking part 3 as much as the part 1 and part 2. I know
it's at the theme park.
Yeah, the theme park
like
stuff. Yeah, I'm like, this doesn't really feel. This is more. This is not in the same vein as part 1 and part 2. But I watched. I enjoyed it for enough. But I felt like it was the weaker of the trilogy. But 30 years later, we're about to get our part 4. What do you think? Did you remember watching Beverly Hills 3?
A little bit.
See,
I remember some of the gun. Didn't he have the big missile launcher?
Yes, in the theme park, right? Yeah, I think. Yeah.
So
I remember him doing the dance with that. I don't know what their character was. The mascot at the theme park.
Yeah.
I think he punched him in the nose or something. I don't remember.
Valky from Perfect Strangers was in there again. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. I mean, maybe I'll have to watch it again and give it another chance. The Flintstones movie. I would remember the one with Halle Berry. That one's turning 30. I remember that was a big deal when that first came out. Is it John Goodman?
John Goodman
playing Fred Flintstone. They were pushing that CGI, that early CGI technology with Dino. I remember that being a big deal. They did a decent job with that movie as well. And rounding it off, this is what's going to make Tabitha real jealous. Turning 30 years old last month, The Crow. One of our favorite movies.
Behind Chris on the wall there.
Obviously, because we got it. Yeah, can't rain all the time, Tabs, but it's our go-to movie. I can't remember if I watched it. I know I watched part 2 in the theaters, but it was one of the movies I really love. But you said you went to the theaters to see The Crow.
I saw that in the theater, in a very old vintage theater in my hometown, and it was a great atmosphere. Really, really enjoyed that. It was very dark and very, the aesthetic was perfect.
And
I saw it in the movie theaters.
You saw it in the movie theater?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you?
I remember being like, it was a great movie.
Yeah. What was that? What was that one line? What was it? The black guy, murder. Want to talk about murder? It's fun. It's easy. Gonna learn all about it. Oh man, that movie. That's what it says. You can't be back. This is the really real world. That's a lot of great lines in that.
A lot of good lines and a lot of crazy actors. What was the actor? Was it Iggy Pop?
That's the young lady who was a Power Ranger.
No, Iggy Pop was a musician that was in one of them. I'm trying to remember which film it was.
I remember the young lady who played the Yellow Ranger was in it. I remember. I can't. Iggy. Was he Funbird or Funboy or whatever his name was?
I don't see
Oh, we're
Iggy
thinking about
Pop
part 2.
listed.
It might be part 2.
But I remember that movie was it stood out, and I know people are so worried about the remake that's about to come out. They're we're in that nostalgia phase where we don't want anything new to. I mean, if the remake that Skarsgård is about to come out with isn't any good, it's not the original. My poster is not going to go up in flames. They're all your DVDs are not going to erase. It's still going to be there. It'll be fine, but I'm hopeful that the remake is pretty good. It's been 30 years. We need. I feel like The Crow needs to be told again, and hopefully they do a decent job. I'm looking forward to it. You said you're going to give it a chance as well.
Absolutely. I will give it a whirl. The Crow was just. It's one of those classic, epic movies that really stays up there in the science fiction genre.
Yeah.
And it's endearing even to this. I saw a Crow cosplayer.
I think I saw one too I saw it on the website. I don't think I saw him there. You saw him there at Dallas Expo?
Yep, I did. I didn't get a close up, but I was like,
yeah.
Oh yes.
I saw it on the either on Instagram or on the Dallas Expo website. Yeah, and he looked great.
He did look great.
He looked great.
And I think that's a Houston local, because I think it might have been posted on the Houston group as well.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that, but I remember seeing it on Instagram. And I thought, yeah, this dude really crushed it. Uh-oh, I think something's freezing. My little buttons aren't working anymore, but we're still. Let me see if something's happening here. All right, let me see if I can manually. There we go. We got it going on. All right, that's a sign that it's that I've been. The computer's lagging. That's a sign. It's time to wrap my computer's like it's been an hour, Chris. It's time to wrap it up. All right. Sorry about that. Windows 95. All right, guys. That's the show. Yeah, we want to just talk about all the movies turning 10, 20, 30 years old. I want to thank you guys for watching another episode of the Talking to the Media's podcast. You can find us on all of the socials if you want to find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all those things as well. If you didn't catch us live, you can watch it back and leave your thoughts on your comments and all the topics that we talked about. We'd love to talk with you guys as usual. I want to thank the panel here for helping me out with these topics and for you guys to support them wherever they are online. So starting with you, Rob, if people want to find you online, where can they do so?
You can catch me on Facebook and Instagram at RXR Props.
Outstanding. And Joy, if people want to find you online, where can they? If people want their own custom cosplay stitching and
my TikTok is Viola Fagan, and my Instagram is Scrub Hats and More by Joy.
And as always, guys, you can reach out to me on all the. Oh man, now the mouse isn't working. There we go. I'll stick with that. That's the only button that's working now. Find me at Chris W. Fagan on all the socials or here at T3 Media Studios. I'm gonna wrap it up real fast. All right, guys. Until next time, guys, have a good one. Let's see. I hope the outro button works. Thank you guys for watching our video. I really do appreciate it. Remember, you can support our show by becoming a member or a Patreon. So click the subscribe button. Don't forget to ring the bell for notifications so you'll never miss out on when we go live or post new content. Let's stay connected, grow this community together. Like, subscribe, comment, and let's keep talking.